In this video, we're going to be making this pattern plywood end table on Handcrafted by Paul. My local Menards has a sale on their 2x2 Baltic birch panels. So every so often I would pick up a few until I had a good stack of plywood. In this project I'm finally making something out of it. But I only need 4. I start off the project by ripping a butt ton of 1.5 inch thick strips. To reduce the stress in my life, I am breaking the glue up into 3 sections. To keep the boards aligned, I am using cauls wrapped with masking tape. Next, I cut and plan a pine slab for the legs and middle support. Using a simple straight edge guide, make 1 straight edge. With 1 straight edge cleaned up, I can put that edge against the fence and rip the board to width. At the miter saw, I set up a stop block and cut the legs and middle support to 9 degrees. Now I can go back to the top and do the final glue up. Using an upcut spiral bit, I cut the mortises for the floating mortise and tenon joints. To aid in routing the ends of the middle supports, I made the saddle. To achieve a perfect fit, I'm lightly sanding each tenon. To lighten the look of the piece, I am adding tapers with the same taper jig as the beginning of the video. While at the table saw, I also cut the half laps for the mill support. At the router table, I add a hefty round over to the edges of the leg, so I was too lazy to set up the vacuum, so we have a little bit of a mess. Eventually the vacuum was added because the dust was too much. Now it's time to do some assembly. I start with the mill support, then add the legs. To aid in clamping, I am taping these wedges to the legs. Using a router, I cut the circle, taking about 1/8 inch per pass. After going about halfway through, I finished the cut at the bandsaw and cleaned it up with a flush trim bit in the router table. Also, I take this time to add a hefty round over to both the top and bottom. To prevent it from splintering as it's being dragged along the floor, I am rounding over the bottom of the legs. Before I apply the finish, I do one final hand sanding. This is where the wood just comes to life. I absolutely love how this turned out. Lastly, I attach the base to the top with figure 8 fasteners. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of video and want to see more in the future, consider subscribing.